Hernandez.
And I'm Happy Holidays, Holly McClure.
And this is Faith Unveiled, a program designed to keep you informed on everything that's happening in the world of faith and family entertainment. Holly, you're still in the Christmas spirit.
I'm still in the spirit and the mood. Hey, it's the one time of year I can use my name and have fun with it. So
absolutely. Why
I'm
not?
milking it for all it's worth.
But you know what? We have come to the last program. Today is the last program of the year.
The end of the year, Isaac, and
Yes.
It's been a great year. Thank you so much for having and inviting me on with you. It's been so much fun, and we've had a good time, haven't we?
We sure have. We've done, I think, a lot of great shows. We've attended a couple of great conferences, and we got a lot of great things happening next year, don't we?
We do. We really do. And I think we've gotten response back from people who have written us and told us that they've really enjoyed the show. Yeah. It's helped them determine and make a decision on what they did or didn't want to see. And so I think it's not only talking about doing fun things like this, but that it really has purpose. And that's to help people and also see who's behind some of these movies and things. We're interviewing the stars and directors and producers who are making these films.
Well, on that note, we should actually invite people to write us. We want to hear more from you. So write us. Let us know you're out there. Let us know what you like about the show. Let us know. Give us some ideas, perhaps.
That's right. Of what you want to hear. And in fact, this is a show, since it's the end of the year, let's review 2022. Let's do it. Let's review it. Let's talk about the top film that all America and the world actually loved. And
that's an easy one. Top Gun. Top Gun
Maverick. Top Gun Maverick. I mean, that was the film that literally, I think also after COVID and after poor records at the theater and box office, it showed Hollywood, oh, no. People are still willing to come to a theater and support a movie. You just have to have the right one.
Yes. Well, as a matter of fact, not only did it last for just weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks in the theater, but a theater right here close to where I live brought it back. I mean, after it had already been gone for a couple of months, they brought it back again.
Because you know what? There's nothing like seeing this movie on the big screen. You get the whole visual effect and the feel of the jets, and it loses something on the smaller screen. It really does.
Well, yes.
And I was just going to say, and why it was so popular was the patriotism. Yeah. It wasn't really strongly political. There was no huge cursing in it. There was no sexual situation. It really had that patriotic feel, that camaraderie, that older guy being accepted by the younger guys and vice versa. It just made people feel good about our military and our country. It was pro-America.
But Holly, come on, be honest. Tom Cruise had something to do with it for you.
That man has charm. And I tell you, he does his own stunts. He flew his own planes. In fact, one of his personal planes, the smaller one, was at the very end of the movie that he went up in, was his own plane. Wow. So he actually did his stunts. He said, I didn't want to do it with screens. I wanted to do the real thing. Yeah. So he made sure that those flying sequences, he was really in the cockpit, and so were the guys. So it was very real. And that's part of the charm about Tom Cruise.
Yes, it is. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a quick look at a trailer here so people get I don't know that there's anybody that didn't already see the movie, but just in case, let's give them a little taste of it.
Your instructor is one of the finest pilots this program has ever produced. His exploits are legendary. What he has to teach you may very well mean the difference between life and death.
Your reputation precedes you.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting an invitation back.
They're called orders, Maverick.
This is your captain speaking. Today's exercise is dogfighting.
2 versus 1? Hey, he's got to be kidding. What the hell?
That was a great trailer. And the music. Does the music make you excited all over again? You're like,
I'm so glad Hollywood finally put something out again that is really worth watching.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. So top film is Top Gun Maverick, and that's the top one. Now let's take a look at the top Christian films, and there's a couple in this category. I chose one that we just interviewed the people, Isaac Alongi and his wife, Sandra, who made the movie It's Christmas Again. And the reason I'm choosing it's because I love the fact that it's a musical combined with teenagers, filmed in Franklin, Tennessee, and Capernaum Studios, and it had the flashback to biblical days and then to the present. So I really feel like it was a different kind of Christmas movie, not your Hallmark.
It really was. And, I mentioned when we had the show and we interviewed the producers, I mentioned that I love musicals. Some of my favorites, of course, are The Music Man and what's the other one? Newsies. I mean, I absolutely love musicals. And so that's probably what made this one very special for me. You know what? How about we take a look at that trailer as well?
Okay, let's do.
All right, remember to watch A Christmas Carol over the holiday and write a report comparing the book to the film adaptation.
Bah, humbug.
I don't care what everyone is doing.
Who marries the star of the show until baby Jesus comes?
Nothing's gonna happen here that ain't happened before.
But how is this our fault? I vote we just skip Christmas this year.
Will we still get presents?
We can't skip Christmas. You really can't have a nativity scene with only 2 shepherds.
Look, I'm going to Max's party. But if I see a magical star on the way there, I'll follow it.
Jake, look up. There's a million magical stars.
I could use an aspirin.
Oh, what?
Those are great costumes, by the way.
We don't have time to play games.
I mean, that's Jesus.
You know his name. We've not told anyone yet.
I mean, he looks like a Jesus, doesn't he? I thought this was a dream at first. But it just feels so real.
Sorry, guys, but it's just not for me.
See ya! Where are all the decorations?
What decorations?
The Christmas lights and the trees?
Those haven't been up since we were kids.
What's going on? I thought Mom said she was gonna decorate.
Decorate what?
Joe, do you want to help me bring back Christmas?
Why not?
Do you remember the movie The Christmas Carol?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You don't think anything like that could really happen, do you?
So come on, let's light up this town tonight. Show the world we won't settle for what's empty this time. It's Christmas again. It's Christmas again.
You know what really gets me excited about this too, Holly, is that the quality level of Christian films is really beginning to rise, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. Isaac Alongi is an amazing cinematographer, and Sandra wrote and directed that. And to direct choreography as well as, the actors, and there was a lot there. So I think they stepped up the game in making this film. And I thought it was really fun. I love how they used the Charles Dickens story and they did it a modern version. That was really creative. So that's a top one. By the way, if you want to go see it, it's not on at theaters, but if you want to go, it's ChristmasAgain.com. You can stream the movie on their website. It's Christmas Again movie, I think. It's ChristmasAgainMovie.com.
Christmas Again movie. Now, I know Christmas is over now, but that doesn't mean you can't go watch a great Christmas movie.
I know, and it's still fun, especially for the next few weeks. Hey, so the Christian Orthodox, some of them keep celebrating Christmas till January 6th.
There you have it.
So some people are still celebrating Christmas around the world.
In the Mexican culture, we have what's called Los Reyes Magos, or the wise men, and they don't come till I think it's January 12th.
Oh, the 12 days of Christmas. Exactly. There you go.
So we're still celebrating Christmas into January.
We're still celebrating Christmas, and some people still are. It's not over yet. Now, you had one that you liked. What one your pick?
I did. And a couple of reasons. One of them is I love true stories. I love stories about, of something that really happened. And the other one is I love movies that are made by friends of mine. And this movie was made by a good friend of both of ours, Kyle Sailors. And that's the movie No Vacancy.
Yes. Yeah.
Love the movie.
That was a good story. And also we interviewed the actor, right?
Yes. Yeah, we did. T.C. Stallings.
Yeah, and people can go look on our YouTube and look up that show if you want to see that, because we did an interview with him and he talked about it. It was a really good interview. Another one I thought was good was Paul's Promise, and that was another true story.
Yes.
And again, friends of ours also directed that and worked with that. But it was just a good story and very about the racial conflicts, and in fact, there's a church standing today because of that movie.
Right.
So I think people should check into St. Paul's Promise as well. One of the big successes for TV this last 2022 that really shot to a whole other level is The Chosen, especially The Chosen season 3, which had a Fathom event and broke all sorts of records at the Fathom event in November. And of course, people continue to watch it now on the Chosen app. But boy, was that a surprise.
Yes, it was. And of course, we could not do this show without talking about The Chosen, because it is one of the just biggest successes out there. They showed episodes 1 and 2 of season 3 in theaters, and it held up amazingly against all the other big Hollywood movies that came out.
Yeah, I think it was 10 million opening. It came in, I think, number 2 or 3 at the box office that week.
And it ended up in number 3 that week. But we're talking about major films.
Yeah. In fact, it beat out another major She Said film that they were hoping would do big numbers, and it beat that out completely. And the thing that I feel like it's getting a lot of flack, isn't it, Isaac? Or some flack anyway. And from naysayers and people, which, sadly, in the Christian realm, there's always going to be people that don't agree with what you're doing. There's people that don't agree with what we say on our show. So there's always going to be the naysayers. But I don't know. I feel like they're picking on him.
You just had to get me started, didn't you?
Yeah.
See, I keep up with Facebook a lot. I'm on Facebook all the time, just seeing what people are thinking, what they're saying. And it's been very disappointing to me to see people come against The Chosen from several points. One of them that really irks me is that they talk about the fact that he's partnered with a company that is owned by Mormons. Okay. And so they say, they say that they're saying that the Chosen is evil. Those are big, strong words. And it just reminds me of that scripture in Isaiah that says, woe, judgment is coming to those that call good evil. I would say be real.
And God also says, touch not my anointed.
Touch not my anointed.
And this show is truly anointed. Now,
anointed.
Let me clarify one thing. Angel Studios, which is Mormon, it's in Utah, helped them raise funds for the first season. Once they raised funding for the first season, they switched their format to a pay it forward format. And that pay it forward format is The Chosen's own format. Correct. So it's not relying on any Mormon funding or Mormon foundation.
They're just distributing it.
They're just distributing it, and then secondly, they seek out and have so much counsel on their scripts to make sure that there's scripture. Yes, they're taking liberties with characters. Yes, I mean, you have to. It's not a biblical based story. I mean, biblical, what am I trying to say? Exact Bible script. It's based on the New Testament, based on the characters, and they're taking liberties.
Yeah, well, one of the other complaints was that they feel that the Chosen is making Jesus very human. They're showing his humanity.
And wasn't he?
As far as I know, he was 100% divine,
wasn't he?
And 100% human. Now, I know mathematically that doesn't make sense to 100%, but in the divine it does. He was 100% divine and he was 100% human. Now, I actually wrote down a few scriptures here that talk about that prove that. For instance, in Matthew 1:25, it says that he experienced hunger. Now, as far as I know, that's a human trait. Okay, you experience hunger. The other one is Matthew 21:18 says that he also experienced thirst. Now, there's the living water where if you drink that, you'll never thirst again. That's on the divine side. But on H2O water, you're going to get thirsty again. And he experienced thirst, which means, again, he was human. In Matthew 4:1, it says that he experienced pain and suffering. And that's very important because that's what I think makes the sacrifice of the crucifixion so special. If he was just 100% divine and didn't feel pain and had come in, we would have said, so he died on the cross, but no big deal. He didn't feel anything. He was divine. But he wasn't. He became human so that he would take our place and pay the price for us. So he was human in that case. And of course, at the end, Matthew 16:21, he died. The divine don't die. The human dies. So he was human. So to show him in his humanity, I don't think it's a problem. To me, I think it's wonderful. It makes me love him even more.
Which also he died, but then he rose again, which was the humanity.
That's
and
the divine part.
And then the divine. And also he was born of a virgin birth, which is half human, half divine, because he was born of the virgin birth, Holy Spirit.
Well,
so, and then they're trying to say that because the line that he said, we'll have to go to the law of Moses. And he said, I am the law of Moses. And they're arguing that that is a Mormon line. I'm sorry. It is in the Bible. It is biblical that he did come to fulfill the law of Moses. I mean, people get nitpicky about the weirdest things. I think I mentioned too, if you go on the Chosen's website, they have different little films that you can watch besides the Chosen. And there's one where they took a group of teenagers that were from all faiths, all backgrounds, all different cities, all races, and they put them in this room. They actually paid for them to come out, and they didn't know what they were going to watch. They didn't know what they were going to see. Some of them thought it was going to be The Bachelor. Some of them thought it was going to be other things. And they had them watch The Chosen, and then they would film them, their comments and what their reactions, and through the course of it. And then after, they followed up on a couple people, and to watch those young people who many of them said, man, I don't really believe in the Bible. I don't really believe in God. One guy said, I believe in many gods. And to watch that transformation by the end of just watching season 1. And it shows, yes, that's what appeals to those kids is the humanity. That's what they commented on.
Exactly.
That for the first time, Jesus was real to them for the first time.
Yep.
So I agree. That is the importance of it.
Well, I probably better stop thinking about it right now because my blood pressure starts to go up, and I'm going to have to go take an extra pill.
And I'll tell you another line where Jesus calls Mary by name. I have so many people at Capernaum Studios because in season 1, when she's walking out of the pub and she has the name Lilith, and he says Mary, and she knows nobody knows that name, and she turns around and he says, God has called you by your name. You are his. More people tell me they react to that, and that's yes, it's in the Bible, but he made it come alive. The guy who plays Jonathan, who plays him, made that come alive and makes you feel what Jesus would have felt like. So I know we are for it, and I'm sorry, no matter what you say, that we don't listen to naysayers.
Again, remember, it's a TV show.
It's a TV show.
It doesn't. Dallas never said, "Hey, throw away your Bible and use this."
Never.
It's a TV show.
It's a show. And speaking of shows in Hollywood, boy, was there some turnovers this last year.
Ooh, yeah. What are we talking about?
We were talking big elephant, the 800-pound Dumbo elephant in the room, which is Disney. I mean, talk about at the beginning of the year and, DeSantis and attacking him and thinking they were getting political and also cool and also woke. And then in the course of it, people went, no, I'm pulling my stocks. I'm not watching Disney. We're pulling Disney Plus. We're not going to go to your movies, Lightyear. We are going to rebel against that. We're going to rebel against Strange Land or something. They've lost millions, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, I think Hollywood thinks of us Christians as just a little side group over here that doesn't really matter. They don't realize we're actually a huge and powerful bunch of people.
We're a majority. They think we're a minority. They think their thinking and their woke mentality is the majority. It is not. And it's been proven now by everything that's happened. Literally, they took on Bob Iger, took over Bob Chapek as the CEO and founder, because the guy that was doing all the political stuff got booted out. And it's still not okay with Disney. They're still doing stuff at the park. They're still changing pronouns and taking out things. I think the effect is going to keep on going.
Well, and I think maybe it needed to get to this point of what they're doing, because I think us Christians were becoming a little too complacent, and we were allowing the smaller stuff, let's say, to just sneak in, and we were, we were okay with it. And it took something that just became really too much for us to finally go, wait a minute, no, we can't go there anymore. We can't go that far. So it woke us up.
In 2020, their wokeness woke us up.
Exactly.
2022 became really a year where Christians started voting with their ticket stubs and with their money for pulling, like I said, Disney Plus, and they felt it. The message was loud and clear. They're feeling it. It still is happening. They're still their stock now has gone down. I guess Avatar, which we're going to talk about, they were expecting to do a lot bigger. I think it brought in 440 something million around worldwide so far, but they were thinking it was going to be beyond that, and it's not. And so now they're panicking once again because their stocks have gone down. I'm telling you, if they were only spiritual, they would understand this is spiritual retribution for what they've done and what they've attacked, but they don't. So they're just going to have to learn a lesson, and I hope they do. I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for them.
Well, You know, I just thought of something that maybe, again, it's a great thing that this is happening, because maybe us as Christians can begin to divert our investments, because a lot of Christians invest in all these companies. Maybe we can start diverting our investments over towards the Christian side of filmmaking. Then we can make films at that Avatar level.
Yes. Something to think about. Yeah, absolutely. I think we are getting better and better, but I wish that we don't have the studio behind us.
Yeah,
and
there's still the financial part.
It's the money, and it's the money to get funding to be able to do the bigger projects. Right. I mean, he Cameron spent $350 million.
Wow.
$350 million on Avatar. Now, of course, he's continued to do part of 3 and part of 4 because, as he put it, the show Stranger Things, he said he didn't want the Stranger Things effect where they wait a year and the kids grow up, and then you can do a show. They wait another year and the kids even look older. So now you're trying to say they're high school and they look like they're 20.
Right.
So, he went ahead and was smart and filmed Avatar 2 and part of 3 and 4, which they'll release next year, so that the kids would stay the same age group. So it's not $350 for just one film. However, that's a lot of money they spent, and Disney's kind of panicking, because it's not doing what they thought it was going to do.
I imagine so. Now, you do have a review of that, of Avatar, right? You went to see it.
I do. I have a review, and it's Avatar: The Way of the Water is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And it takes place 15 years after, and the original Avatar. Sam Worthington is Jake, and Zoe Saldana is, of course, Netri. Sorry, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can. Netiri. Sorry, I'll be saying it wrong. Netiri. But they're the Na'vi people, and the reason I wanted to put my glasses on because I want to make sure I catch the people that also start in it. Sure. They terrorize Jake, and what's funny and interesting is they have made now Na'vi blue-looking avatars of the bad guys. And remember, the bad guy was killed in Avatar? Well, guess what? They took his DNA and they create a Na'vi giant thing so that those Na'vi military can fight and sneak in and kill the Na'vi people. So it's even more diabolical. They attack the forest. They attack those people. So they have to run and flee with their kids. They now have 4 kids, and they have to flee to the water. And it's another clan. They have fin-like tails. They have flippers with their hands. And the human tech gets worse. Then Quaritch, who's the head of all those soldiers, attacks even more. Sigourney Weaver is back in this one in a different avatar, which is like a younger girl avatar. Stephen Lang, of course, is the bad guy, the big colonel. Kate Winslet is actually in this, which I think it's funny because Kate Winslet was in what? Titanic. So she's joined again James Cameron, and he has Kate Winslet back. Wow. And then Cliff Curtis. And Cliff Curtis, he's starred in a bunch of things. He plays the voice. Now, Paris, this is a hard PG-13. And it's hard for language. It's got, military style battle scenes. It's got fighting, sword, arrows. So, now PG-13, it's not a big deal, but a 7-year-old, I don't know. I was in there, and I see people with 3 and 5 and 6-year-olds in this movie. And I'm like, what are you thinking? This is not like PG family friendly, to come to. It's a PG-13, and it's a hard PG-13. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was creative. I mean, the special effects, the water scenes, the way they breathe underwater, and they had to film these kids underwater. It is worth the ticket, the price of the ticket. The imaginary blue world, the water. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Well, let's take a look at the trailer.
Okay, let's do. Now, James Cameron produced, directed, and co-wrote the script, okay? The thing I loved about it was what you just heard. He talks about the importance of fatherhood all the way through. He's like, I'm a father, I have to take care of my family. The importance of family, the importance of sticking together. The kids disrespect their parents at one point and apologize to their parents because they realize they did wrong. The father apologizes to the kid when he realizes he perceives something. All of that I loved. What I didn't love was the foul language. And this is the thing. This is so typical Cameron. This is what he did in Titanic. He had characters cursing that never would have cursed, never would have used that language at that time. You have people on Pandora, a whole different planet. They worship the god Navri. It's Iwa. It's a whole different god that they worship, and they're very spiritually connected. So why do you have characters? Why aren't they cursing that God? Why aren't they cursing Iwa, that God on that planet? Oh,
right.
Because it's not spiritually correct. Yeah. Well, it's okay then to use GD and to use Jesus and to use that language. And that's the only thing that ruined it for me and made for others. It's a good movie. I don't want it to ruin the whole thing, but I will warn you that that's in there. And it just makes me so mad that Hollywood thinks they can't bash, Muhammad, they can't do anybody else, but boy, they can do Jesus and God all over. And it's an age-old discussion, but that's the part that bothers me.
Again, it's up to us to make changes by not spending our money there.
Well, or spinning it and voicing complaint, because it is a good movie, a good story.
That's what's sad.
This is the thing. It is PG-13, so parents, just please heed the rating. Yeah. Choose your movies wisely.
There you go. I was waiting for that line. Holly, we have come to the end of this show and to the end of this year.
Oh, Happy New Year, Isaac.
Happy New Year. We may have a New Year's program. I don't know, but I think hopefully we will have one right on New Year's. And so then that's when our whole new year will start. How's that?
We're going to kick it off right, aren't we? Well,
yes, absolutely.
This has been fun wrapping up 2022, and now we get to see what's coming in 2023.
Yes, it has. And don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button, and there you'll be able to watch some of the shows that we talked about today, where we interviewed the people that that produced the movies that we talked about on the show today. So,
that's right.
Holly, there you go. That's it. We're done.
Click subscribe because we need to get you to do it on our YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for watching Faith on Film. Isaac, thanks for having me co-host, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.